Hello, beautiful people. How you all doing? Happy new month. It's been a while, guys. I know. I want to welcome you back to my baking series. I remain your girl, Ololade Zainab Macaulay Bake with Lollipops. So, in today's baking series, I'm making a red velvet cake. This time around, I was able to record myself while baking a red velvet cake for my friend. So if this is your first time of coming across my video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, comment, share, engage on my post. You're welcome. Critics are allowed, but don't let it be too harsh. And for my followers and subscribers, you guys are the best. I want to thank you all for the love and support always. So right now I'll be listing out the ingredients my red velvet cake. So I used 115 grams of flour, 130 ml of oil, 180 grams of sugar, 115 grams of unsalted butter. You can use 2 large eggs or 4 medium eggs, 240 ml of buttermilk, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 1 tablespoon of your red food coloring, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of cocoa powder, and finally 1 tablespoon of vinegar. So in my bowl I added 50 ml out of the 130 ml of oil. I added 50 ml. I poured it in a bowl. I added my sugar, everything, the 180 grams of sugar, and my 115 grams of unsalted butter. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to whip everything together until it is pale and fluffy. Don't forget, I mixed 50 ml of oil, 180 grams of sugar, and 115 grams of unsalted butter, all whipped together until pale and fluffy. In case I was too fast while stating out the ingredients, don't worry. I'm going to list it out in my caption so that you can see so that you can read well. Yeah, so that's for that. As you can see, it is well pale and fluffy. So the next thing I'm doing is I'm adding my eggs. In this video I make use of medium eggs, so I used 4 medium eggs. So I'm going to add it one at a time, and I'm going to mix on low speed. After each addition, what do I mean? I'm going to add one. I'm going to mix it on low speed. I'll add the second one. I'll mix on low speed. I'll add the third one. I'll mix on low speed. I'll add the fourth one, and I'm going to mix it on low speed. But if you are using large eggs, you just need two large eggs. But as for me, I used medium, so I used 4 medium eggs. Do you get? So you're going to mix on a low speed until everything is well combined, as you can see in this video. So that's for the egg part. The next thing I'm going to do now is to add my buttermilk. So I'm making use of 240 ml of buttermilk. I'm going to add it into the mixture I have already. In case you can't get a buttermilk around you, the best way to make a buttermilk is by adding vinegar inside your liquid milk and allow it to settle for about 10 minutes. By doing that, you've made a buttermilk for yourself. But I was able to get mine anyways. So I added 240 ml of buttermilk inside the mixture I have already. Then I added 80 ml. Don't forget the first 80 ml of oil. You can use any vegetable oil of your choice. Don't forget the first mixture I did, I added 50 ml, but this time around I added 80 ml. Yeah, so that's a total of 130. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my food coloring. This time around I was able to get a powdered food coloring. I wanted to see the difference between the liquid food coloring and powdered. I wanted to see if there's going to be any difference in the taste and all. Then I added 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. As you can see, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Then I'm going to mix everything together on a low speed until it is well combined. Like, take your time, mix it, but don't forget on a low speed until everything is well combined. Meanwhile, don't forget, before you start all this, make sure you preheat your oven at 175 degrees Celsius for about 20 minutes. Don't forget that, please. Always preheat your oven before you put your cake batter inside. It's actually the only thing it does, that it make things easier. You get, yeah. So that's for the buttermilk aspect. Now we're going to jump on the dry ingredients. So I'm going to call that the wet ingredients. So for the dry ingredients, I'm going to be making use of 315 grams of flour. Then I'm going to add my 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I'm going to add my 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Yeah. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, as you can see. Yeah. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of cocoa powder. So that is 10 grams. Yeah, 10 grams, I guess. Yeah, that is 10 grams. So the best way to add your cocoa powder is by sifting it. Like, you sift it inside the dry ingredients, so that there's no just to be sure that there is no lump. Alright, so after doing that, I'm going to mix everything together until it is well combined. I'm going to mix the dry ingredients. I'll make sure that everything is well mixed. Know that baking powder will be separate, or cocoa powder will be separate. So I need everything to be well combined before I proceed to the next step. So that's what I'm doing right here now. So my dry ingredients is well combined. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour my dry ingredients into my wet ingredients and mix everything together. Mix everything together until everything is well combined, well incorporated. So you mix on a low, don't forget. You mix on a low, and please do not overmix. Please do not overmix your cake batter. Okay, so this is what my cake batter looks like. It looks yummy already. One thing I love is I love the brightness, like the redness. Yeah, I love it so much. So finally, this is the last thing I'm going to add to my cake batter, which is the vinegar. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of vinegar inside my cake batter, and I'm going to mix everything out. Like, I'm going to mix it well until the vinegar is well incorporated, like inside the cake mixture I have on ground already. You understand? Yeah. So this is how to make a red velvet cake. This is one of the methods, because we might have different methods of baking red velvet, but this is one of the methods of making a yummy red velvet cake. Lastly, I'm going to transfer my cake batter inside my prepared baking pan. And what do I mean by prepared baking pan? A baking pan rubbed with butter, or a baking spray is being applied onto, so that the cake won't be sticky when you're trying to bring it out of the pan. So that is what a prepared baking pan is called. Yeah, so in this video I made use of 4 inches baking pan and 6 inches baking pan, as you can see. So alright, the next phase is to transfer inside my ovens, and that's the end of today's video. Bye.